Thank you, Shirley.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. And again, see, this is the part of the process that unfortunately we're miseducated and uneducated about, not just in the schools, but in our general communities as far as us being more politically aware. And
Yeah.
again, we're not saying you have to be a politician, you all, but what we're saying is we all have to become more politically aware because these things affect us whether we like it or not. And
Yeah.
and we could be, like I said, we could be like, I'm anti-government and they're corrupt. I get all that because I mean, I'm on that anyway. But what I'm also know is that if I don't involve myself in some capacity, whether it be, listen, I'm gonna speak to the people who don't vote, right? Like the 20% they say that are not voting, because they say, I'm gonna just give a quick stat, right? They said that if the election went right now, they said roughly about 58% of black men, I'm speaking of black men specifically, are voting for Kamala Harris, right? 26% of those are voting for Trump, right? So that's roughly speaking, right? If the election happened right now, roughly. And then you have, like you said, so you have like the 27% or 15% of people who are not voting or, undecided or whatnot. And my thing is, how active are we going to be? How active are we going to be in, making impact where it counts? And I see a lot of people's frustration and fear. And I talked about this with a good friend of mine. And again, family, you can push back on this as much as you like. But we were talking about people are so scared because they have this belief that they are they have this belief that they're so dependent on these candidates doing what they should be actually helping to do for themselves that they have given up their power. They have given up all their influence to solely ride on these two people, on these potentially two people. One of them that's going to end up being our next president. And it's just like, what is that belief is, Kadi, you mentioned this before in previous podcasts, the savior complex, right? It's like you're depending on these people to save you. And it's like you're not depending on yourself to save you. To some extent, I have a problem with that. I have a sincere, rooted problem in that. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. And it's like, how do we change that mindset? How do we get out of that mindset of depending on these people, just depending on these people to save us?
Right. So to add to that point, Cal, as I close out my final statement, and us being a part, like people listening, what are they going to get? What is the outcome? What are they going to get from? Yeah. So people listening, what are they going to get from this podcast? Right. What are we giving them? What are some solutions we can give them? Well, the thing that crossed my mind, which is what I've been trying to do, and the apathy is real, is creating a local political group. Along with everything else, we have to incorporate courses on relationships, because we don't know what it's like to be in a relationship. We haven't been taught. Women don't know how to be feminine for the most part. They don't know what a good man looks like. Men don't know what a good woman looks like, Shelly. Men don't know what a good woman looks like. Can you hear me?
Why we gotta be feminine?
I'm just, geez. All right. So anyway, back on the topic, politics. Create local political groups. We need, just like there's school courses in school that teach math, history, global science, English, there needs to be some type of structure, some type of course, some type of instruction, like thing in place that teaches us how the political system works. Like, how, all right, so because we can tell people all day, support your local government, right? Support your, your council person down the street or in your zone or whatever the case may be. I mean, what they're gonna do? All right, they're gonna have to find out where that's at, number one, right? And then that whole process is foreign to us. How do we do that? Like, we coming in, what information should I get? What questions should I ask? What do we talk? I mean, where do I start? Where do I begin? I think that's a big problem.